What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Last Wave podcast. We dive into topics like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, nerd stuff, and conspiracies. As always, thanks for listening. It means a whole lot to us. Check out our Facebook page if you haven't already. Also, we do have a Patreon page. Patreon.com is basically a subscription service for content creators like myself. It's a real cheap way to show your love for the show. I have it set for like $1 or $2 a month. Or for $5 or more a month, you actually get a shout out for content as a producer, and you get exclusive videos as well. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool little thing. Also, we of course have our Facebook page where we post a lot of stuff, pictures from the shows, articles, cool stuff that I find throughout research, all that good stuff. Twitter, we just got on Twitter as well. So you basically find us everywhere, same name and picture, pretty much everywhere. So, anyway, all the formalities aside, again, thanks for listening. Honestly, I'm having a ton of fun doing this. I'm trying to rearrange the channel a little bit. I noticed just looking at it, it looks so scattered with all the different thumbnails and stuff. So, basically, what I'm doing is I'm kind of trying out some new title slides, make everything look a little bit more professional, a little cleaner. So, let me know what you think. Comment on Facebook, comment on the videos, throw some likes on them for me. Anyway, so today we're going to go over the Ningen. The Ningen, or human as it is translated, is a suspected giant humanoid-esque creature that is apparently swimming through the world's oceans, mainly in the icy waters of the Antarctic. Said to be completely white in color with an estimated length of 20 to 30 meters. Eyewitnesses describe them having a human-like shape, often with legs, arms, and even five-fingered hands. Sometimes they are described as having fins, or a large mermaid-like tail instead of legs, or even tentacles for that matter. The only visible facial features are the eyes and the mouth. According to one account, crew members on deck observed what they initially thought was a foreign submarine in the distance. When they approached, however, it became clear that the irregular shape of the thing in the water made it a creature. It was breathing, it was moving, and it was not man-made. The creature quickly disappeared underwater. The stories of this creature started to gain renown around the mid-2000s. In November 2007, an issue of MU magazine, a Japanese publication, which is where the name comes from, the Ningen. They devoted some time to the study of the paranormal phenomena, and they featured an article about Antarctic humans. The article speculated on the possibility of unidentified creatures inhabiting the southern seas, and it included a Google Earth screenshot showing what looks like a Ningen in the South Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Namibia. Certain governments are believed to have kept detailed records of the sightings, but they have not released any information to the public and have reportedly instructed eyewitnesses to remain silent. Now, I believe I mentioned the Ningen in the Kraken episode. It also matches, again, descriptions of the Kraken and things of that nature with the tentacles and just obviously the size of the creature itself. But given its strange humanoid description and different appendages, it is possible that if this creature is indeed real, it could be the mythical Kraken himself. My official opinion on this beast is that it could be real. There was a recent discovery of a Greenland shark that was a suspected 500 years old, slowly swimming through cold waters near Greenland. However, I think that if this creature is real, it is a rare large species of manta ray, or something along those lines. This is due to the reported general shape, reported as it is said to just have eyes and a mouth near the head. Something large could theoretically live off plankton, I suppose, and slowly coast along, kind of like a whale shark. And again, if you focus on the eyes and the mouth, if you turn a manta or a ray, I guess you could say a ray upside down, you'll see, there's memes on the internet of just these two little beady eyes and a mouth. So it does kind of match the descriptions of just a giant, large ray of some type. I have said it before, I am no scientist, but it sounds like a better theory as far as the ray goes than some of the ones out there, including one I found that they are a new species of ape able to breathe underwater. And that is because of some reports filtering in I have seen of much smaller but similar animals as well. I am serious. That is something I found on the internet. So my theory of a giant ray seems pretty calm compared to um, water-breathing Antarctic ape creatures. Anyway, some of the first sightings of the creature by Japanese whaling vessels were startling, obviously. The reports say that the crew thought they were seeing an enemy submarine at first until they got close and noticed the shape of the body and its movements. The main reason that information is limited on the Ningen is due to the area that is reported to live. The Antarctic is a difficult place for vessels to reach. The likelihood of seeing one or even two large creatures lowers the chance even more. Uh, Plus, throw the fact that their body color is said to match that of icebergs. So we're kind of screwed either way unless you just get lucky and happen to get a Google screenshot or, you know, like a random Japanese whaling vessel like the main reports that I find. Those seem to be the main people that see the creature. These reports bring me back to something else I believe I mentioned in the Kraken episode. I'm going to attempt to say this name. It is Greek, so bear with me. The the Aspidochelone. Um, it is basically a great whale, said to be the size of an island, often mistaken for one. And once ships anchor near it, the massive beast moves with enough force to pull the ships down into the water. It is also called different names in different cultures. It has been mentioned in travelers' myths and lore in Greece, Egypt, and throughout Europe and the Latin world. In these cultures, the beast was known to look as the deceptive island that lured travelers to be pulled down into their drowning depths. So you see, I mean, I know there's banshees, not banshees, but sirens, and tales of ships being basically led to their deaths for one reason or another. So maybe that kind of factors in with that folklore as well. These just giant creatures that once they move with such power that they basically pull everything down around them. So I mean that would be pretty huge. I mean it is said that the great whale is said to even have plant life growing on it like it's that big. So I guess if it's real, I mean that would be pretty crazy. But anyway, in the folklore of the Inuit in Greenland, a similar cold environment to the Ningen, there was a similar monster called an Imap Umasora. It was a giant sea monster that often was mistaken for a vast or flat island. When the monster emerged from the water, it would tip sailors into the freezing waters, causing their deaths. So whenever the water seemed shallow, the sailors would tread carefully, or fear that they were directly over the dreadful creature. So again, you have another similar creature in another similar environment. So that also, and that's two, and I guarantee no one from Japanese whaling vessels is dealing with Inuit people in Alaska. Well, I don't know. I can't guarantee that. But you see what I'm saying? They're seeing things in the Antarctic as well as the Arctic area. So it's just kind of interesting. Um, in Irish folklore, there was a giant fish of a monster that breached the boat of St. Brendan. It was called Gisconius, and it was also mistaken for a vast island. There is also the mythical whale described in the tale of Jonah. In the Bible, it could have been this creature as well. This great whale that was big enough to swallow a man. He survived. Living in the whale. You got Pinocchio, obviously, as the great children's story. They survived in the whale. So, and I kind of believe unless a whale swallows a human being, like they're not going to survive. So you're talking about like, an inside that would have to be cavernous, just gigantic, really enough for you to survive. So obviously this stuff is probably folklore, but if you think about it scientifically, if these creatures are real, they have to be massive. There are also thoughts that the mythical whale described in the tale of Jonah, uh, again, could be this creature. So there are throughout history Similar tales of these massive sea creatures, big enough to be mistaken for islands. And these are, this is way throughout history. You got biblical tales, Inuit legends, Irish folklore, Greek folklore, etc. So it's definitely something to be taken seriously. It's a lot of people all around the world seeing basically the same thing. So on that note, there have actually been in modern times reports of islands going missing. Sandy Island, an island removed from maps in 2012, was previously shown on maps before that. Not saying that this is what happened, but in some cases maybe it is. This does, again, Sandy Island was really interesting. I saw a couple things about it on some History Channel shows, Discovery, that kind of stuff. Basically, it was a known and reported island that just one day just disappeared. So, again, it was reported for a very, very long time in the same place. So, more than likely, not this type of creature. But, even in modern times, with all of our technology, islands just go missing. So, that kind of lends credence to it a little bit, I would say. The Ningen remains one of the more elusive sea monsters out there. Of course, they're all elusive, but especially this one in the climates that it currently lives in. There are a few alleged pictures, mainly expected to be fake, some horribly fake, but there is a video supposedly taken of a Ningen swimming underwater. And I'll post this on our Facebook page and some pictures and stuff once the story goes up. It's a fairly interesting video, and I'll try to get it up. And it's kind of like I can't remember if it's off of a fishing vessel. It looks almost like a sonar type kind of video. So be prepared for that. It is really interesting, but it's so easy to fake everything nowadays. So you never really know. But I think that pretty much covers everything that you need to know about the Ningen. The main thing I want everyone to take away from the story, and that of the Kraken, is that massive creatures have been reported throughout history and in most seafaring societies. For as long as we recorded stories and images, we have stated the existence of these beasts. We know less about the ocean than we do about Mars. So I don't think there's anything wrong with keeping the door open on creatures like this. You really can't say for sure that they don't exist. But again, one of those things, and it just bothers me sometimes on this show because like you want to know so badly, you want to know, is this thing real? But I guess that's what the paranormal is. It's a mystery. So today we're left with another one. Maybe one day we'll see some evidence, physical evidence of these creatures. You do have like blobs and stuff like that to wash up. I'll probably do another episode just on those. And basically, if you don't know what blobs are, those are amorphous blobs of what are mainly suspected to be like whale carcasses that are decayed that wash up. But there have been some throughout history that have been super interesting. There was one that was really, really in the shape of a plesiosaur. So, I mean, there's been some interesting ones. So maybe that's the next underwater cryptid episode that I'll do. But I really enjoy doing these underwater cryptids and other cryptids as well. That's really a passion of mine. I'm out of the ones that I know mainly, other than, the blob and things of that nature. But I will definitely do some research. I'll dig around and see what I can find so we can keep this series going. Because again, I really enjoy it. As always, thank you for listening. We're trying to get our videos a little bit longer. I'm trying to slow down, talk more clearly. I'm getting a little bit more comfortable in what we're doing here. So it's good stuff. We'll keep it going. Again, let me know, comment below, comment on the video, comment on the Facebook page. Let me know what you think about using the title slides. I think it's going to clean up this channel a whole lot. Again, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next video.